Is this thing on?
Unfortunately, what's up, everyone? Welcome
Hey,
to the Two Monkeys One Braincell podcast. It's your boy Crimson.
my name's GC, and today we have a lovely, very special guest. She is the demon behind my back, whispering secrets that I never wanted to hear. The woman that keeps embarrassing me every stream we have by whooping my behind in the craziest of ways. Padbae, welcome on to the podcast. How you doing tonight, girl?
Hi, hi, hi. I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys doing tonight?
I don't like
Great.
that cheeky little grin.
Hmm.
So
This is
proud.
I
why I like
do.
Padbae.
I
Whenever
really do
I
beat you
can't
at
pick on
everything.
you, she picks up where I left off.
Exactly.
I sometimes I forget that this podcast is just like all my biggest haters.
I think it's like
Yeah.
it was like what 9-3 with the dating sim that we played.
I,
Probably even more. I think
I
it's closer to like 12.
it was I know I won two and that's about it. No, you're
I
right.
think you
I
won
did.
3.
I won three. I won
Yeah.
three. The third one was like neck and neck. I was like, I was back in it. Then chat the wagered on me and lost all their points. Okay, anyway. Uh,
That
so Pappy, how you doing tonight? What's up? What's been?
Doing good, doing good. Just here enjoying conversations and all of that. I'm excited to see what questions you got for me.
See, that gremlin shit, like that gremlin stuff, is like the creepiest thing to me because I know you have like evil intentions, and they're like almost,
No,
almost, I'm gonna mess something up. I'm gonna cause some chaos.
no,
Padbae, you have my
definitely not.
permission to keep going with that. What the funny part about me giving Padbae all this like freedom to do stuff is because for a while I had like the most one-sided beef with her.
Oh my god, yes, go ahead, pop off, please. I want. I'm tired of hearing it.
Is it about Pokemon?
No, 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 no. It's so I'm a big enjoyer of primates and monkeys and stuff, right?
Okay.
Like actively, I love monkeys. And when I
Okay.
first started following Padbay, nonstop, it was just like her all the time. When Kamzi the bonobo passed away, right? I was about to like show the memorial post. You know what? I accidentally almost showed my coworker. You behind?
And he's
Like,
gonna.
keep in mind, I was in tears. Like,
I'm just
legitimately,
letting you
I
know
was
your
in tears
coworker
about like this.
probably would have enjoyed my behind more.
I think I agree with
Here's
her,
my
I was
dude.
like
Instagram,
really
Padbae.
upset, and then I was like, and just you just see like boom. I'm like, no. So it's just very one-sided beef. You get in the way of my monkeys. You know, I want Ponzi, may you rest in peace. I wish I could have made it to your funeral, but flights to
What?
Iowa were a little too expensive.
I kid you not. Like this is not like a joke or a bit. This man's would like constantly bring this point up, and I just sat there. Sometimes I'm like on a soapbox. As much as I want to kick it down, I think if he burns himself out, we'll be done with this. But this
Well,
kanji
now
thing,
I now I am relieved. We're on stage 5. We're in acceptance. You know what I mean?
honestly,
Acceptance that the behinds are just always going to
Acceptance.
be
It's
there.
like okay, I just know I'm gonna see Pad
It's
Bay
been a year
before
of
I see any
posts.
orangutans.
got one right next to me,
And
baby.
maybe I want to see orangutans, but I have to acknowledge Pad Bay's existence first.
You know, we had a wild story speaking of like monkeys and stuff. Now, I don't know if you consider mandrills and gorillas part of the monkey category.
Well, I use monkey kind of colloquially for like all primates. It's just that when you say monkey, it's more easy to say than primate. So
Yeah.
mandrills. Okay, what is your story on mandrills and gorillas? Because gorillas are my favorite animal.
I had a little date at the zoo, and we're watching the gorillas kind of go a little crazy. And the way that the zoo exhibit is like kind of like a little L shape, and I was on
Right.
like one side of the L where I couldn't really see the other side of the L, like the panels of glass, and the gorillas kind of just walking around like waiting for their food or something. And one gorilla kept hitting like a pane of glass, like kept hitting it. And we're like, oh, what's going on? Like maybe someone's on the other side, maybe like taunting or all that. We can't really see. And then we start shifting to leave, and we see that that whole piece of glass is boarded up because the gorilla had just cracked it.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, let's fucking leave this place. To which we start walking down, and then we get to the mandrills. And the mandrills started having beef with us, me and my date, because my date did not read the sign that said, do not make eye contact or sudden movement. To which he made eye contact and made a little jerky move. And the mandrill's like, fuck it. Full on, like, want to be aggressive. So I'm like, I'm never taking you to the monkeys ever again.
You know that mandrills will sometimes stroke their beef thermometer to show dominance?
They're what thermometer?
Beef
Beef
thermometers.
thermometer.
I think I know what you're insinuating. Okay.
What's the one thing we can stroke on a monkey?
Yeah.
Like it's
YouTube censorship. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. It's like okay. I don't know if I could say it. I know it's a medical term, but like I don't know if I should say it. But
Some
I'm
we're
glad I
getting
stick to the
we're
rule of
getting a little
6
too
feet back.
distracted on this monkey talk, this monkey business.
hey, we're monkeying around,
One thing
dog. What you mean?
one thing I do want to talk about with you, Padbae, is that you really like pop punk.
Mhm.
You like that kind of era. So like what are some of your favorite pop punk bands and like um what era do you think was like very pivotal, in like your music taste?
I will say, wait. I will
Okay.
say, you did surprise me in that one in our previous stream together when we started talking about punk. You definitely took me by surprise. Where I'm like, she
With Hail
knows
the
a lot.
Sun?
Yes, I'm like, who the hell is this one?
Yes, Hail the Sun is one of my favorite bands. Just genuinely really enjoy them. They have a lot of political like content and
It's
stuff like
punk.
that. But one of my yeah. Well, it's like not so much so like I would classify it as punk because of that, but it is just considered alternative.
Uh, they have a whole ass website.
They're really really good. And the vocalist for that band just genuinely so talented. But one of my favorite songs that they actually uh came out with that was not I guess kind of political based, but like instead of the typical like inspirations that lyricists tend to have, this one was about Elisa Lamb, which kind of like tapped
Oh,
into like my true crime side as
right.
well. It was
Yeah.
about Elisa Lamb was the girl that the elevator footage caught her like acting really weird around it. Some people were like, "Oh,
And
it
then they
looks like
found her
almost like
body
demonic."
in the water vat. Yeah.
Yes, they found yeah, eventually. They couldn't figure out there was a lot of suspicion around her death and all of that. So one of their songs was about Elisa Lamb disappearing syndrome, which is uh the song that got me into Hail the Sun to begin with. Now, I grew up I wouldn't say necessarily just pop punk, just in general. Memphis Mayfire. I really like I the Mighty. I've loved I the Mighty since high school. I come back to them so often. If you want to talk about political content, I the Mighty has been pivotal in actually shifting my political views. Um,
Oh, whoa.
so definitely check them out. And actually, part of the inspiration to my choice in major in college, even um, super big inspiration. Current bands that I love, Sleep Token.
Yep, that one I know for a
Obviously,
fact. Yeah, that one every
obviously, I talk
stream,
about them
baby.
I
all the
just know
time.
whenever I see a sleep token video, it's like, okay, I'm gonna send this to Padbae.
Yeah, and you can even see it on my TikTok where I make educational content. I try to sneak in Sleep Token wherever I can
All
with a
the
little
time.
Sleep Token obligatory mention somewhere. Um, and the home team, which I was just talking about
Right.
before the podcast aired. It was or we started
Wait, I
recording.
don't know why I'm shooting
I
up those
love I the
shocker.
Mighty.
I don't know who the fuck the home team is.
Right.
I the
Baseball like
Mighty, or
ooh.
sorry, I the Mighty. The home team is very funky. I really like.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you're not super into like alternative music, the home team like the lead singer likes to express it in the way it's like I like to get my Wyatt ass shaking to my music. So Sorry for cursing. I don't know if cursing's allowed, but
Yeah, you fucking
We
idiot.
have
Watch your
dropped. I think
language.
we're already past like the first two. Like I think like YouTube says like within like the first few minutes you can't curse. I think we're past that point. No,
just
so
do
that's
here,
actually
I'll
just kind of
right to cover my any cursing if it's not. There you
No,
go.
you
no.
motherfucker.
Oh,
Okay, I
sorry.
You
got dropped.
little
Yeah,
shit. You?
yeah.
I, 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 I need to go. I'm already home. I can't say I need to go home. I'm already home.
So,
There.
so that actually kind of changes like how I was gonna because I my initial thoughts because like whenever I would send memes to you, it was a lot of that like Tumblr era pop pop. So to hear your music was like a little bit more extensive is like kind of cool because I was also in like the Tumblr era of music, but I was into like the the like the R&B and the rap side. So there's a lot of Tyler the Creator, a lot of Tinashe, DJ Mustard, stuff like that.
Wait. What's Tumblr
Oh
era
no, give me
music?
Parkway Drive. Give me.
Tumblr
I like
era,
heavier.
Yeah,
you like okay for sure.
what's Tumblr
Mhm.
era? What are the terminologies
So
all like?
so
Sleeping with
at the
Sirens. Pierce the Veil. Oh, I fucking love Pierce the Veil. Pierce the Veil
Here's
should
the
have been
Black
on
veil.
fucking
Brides. No blood on the
Black
dance
Veil
floor
Brides
though.
is
No,
good.
absolutely no blood on the dance floor. Uh, here to say publicly, fuck Dami Vanity. Um, no. So to kind of enlighten GC on what the Tumblr era was. So like back when Tumblr was at its like real peak,
Yeah.
there were certain artists that just kind of had a really good niche there.
Never Shout
Bro.
Never.
Never shout,
So
never shout,
Tumblr.
never. Romance on a
So
rocket ship were like
Tumblr.
really big for the Tumblr era.
Okay.
Oh my
Um,
god. Check yes, Juliet. Are you with
yeah, are you
me?
with me? But that's We the Kings.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like their popularity was like prior to that. They were like in the beginning of it, and then they kind of got into it. But it was that era where there were a lot of like artists that people liked, and they just kind of gravitated towards. So like
Okay.
Tinashe was really big on the R&B poppy side. DJ Mustard, because Mustard on the Beat was like very big. You know, that's like that producer tag was very big back then, and it was just DC. Are you even
Mustard on
listening
the
to
beat.
me?
Oh.
Yeah,
Hey,
Mustard on the
Padbae,
Beat.
shit.
Yo. All right.
Da-da-da.
So
Let a
you
brother
did
enjoy
talk
his music.
about college and how the artists you were listening to kind of influenced what you ended up pursuing. So what did you end up pursuing, and like why was that like kind of expanded on?
So I the Mighty. Um, so I grew up in a very, very conservative household. To which, that's the only views that I had. I really wasn't on the internet too much to really have any other outside noise. So I had like a lot of conservative views until I started finding music, and that's when it really opened my eyes. And I the Mighty was one of those bands that really like opened everything for me. And they had a song called Modern Medicine, which is about overprescription of pills, and instead of addressing mental health, it's just like patch the problem, put them in mental institutions, like they shouldn't be seen, like stains of society, basically was the vibe. um and it's like we shouldn't have this band-aid cover up, we need to get to the root issues. So that actually prompted me to go into biochemistry with a specialization in pharmacological chemistry.
Oh wow.
That's a really
Hmm.
that's a sick backstory. Like superhero level backstory.
Because when you said like, oh yeah, political music that influenced, I was like, oh, you're gonna go into like, wow,
Yeah, you're going to a
damn.
poly side. No, pharmaceuticals. Huh?
Yeah,
Sorry?
Okay, and then
addressing the opioid crisis was something I really wanted to do. Now it's on pause a
yeah,
little bit, but
right. I think it like that issue is so big now because like I've within like the past like 2 3 years, I've known so many people that have overdosed on fent, and
Oh,
like
mhm.
that's yeah, like it's really bad, and people always think like, oh, it's gone, right? Because you don't see it, but like it is a persistent
I
issue.
when it comes to thing I've known when it comes to specifically fentanyl, the only thing I know of is like people getting it slipped into in while they're like consuming things at parties, while things are being
Mhm.
passed around and shared, and it's more communal. Things are getting slipped into, and they're having bad experience with that. But
Yeah.
Now,
thankfully, no overdoses.
I will say, I was in a hospital setting when I was giving birth to my son. I had an epidural in which they use fentanyl with that. And even then, in a hospital setting, under the supervision of an anesthesiologist, I almost overdosed and died.
Oh,
It is one of those things where, please, everybody, learn how to use and administer Narcan. It is one of those things that really can save so many people's lives, especially because like it is such a rampant problem.
wait,
So please,
Narcan, can you? That's the when
yeah,
people
it's
are
basically
overdosing,
like,
right?
yeah, when people are overdosing, it is a nasal kind of like it's like a spritzer that goes in the nose,
Yeah.
and it kind of keeps them from overdosing. I can't really explain too much about the mechanisms behind it. I'm not super familiar, and I won't pretend to be. But it is one of those things where you can typically get Narcan. It's for an emergency use. And it's, it can be the difference of life and death in a lot of cases, especially at concerts where I love to go. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so many people that pass.
Buy this at
Yeah.
Target for like $35.
You can buy it really cheap. It's one of those things like having it, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where society like people say, oh, like, well, these people shouldn't be doing drugs anyways, and it's like, well, I would much rather live in a society where we make sure that everyone's taken care of no matter what, because it could have been someone who never takes drugs and was sleep
Right.
something.
Yeah, like that. Like overdosing doesn't just happen because people are abusing a drug. It happens, like in your case, over watchful eyes and mistakes.
Yeah, and
Important.
it can happen to anybody. It can happen to the little granny down the road who sadly cannot get the pain medication she needs, so she asks a friend to help her get something, and that was laced.
Right.
Especially with the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical.
Sometimes kids can be born like having an overdose.
What?
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So like, what's it called? There are like, when homeless people get like pregnant and they're still abusing like during the pregnancy, the baby, like if they were abusing like as the things going on, the baby can overdose. Babies can
Yeah.
be born with addiction to heroin. It is
And
Oh,
they have to
it
go
is
through
no joke.
withdrawals and all of that. It is incredibly sad. So it's one of those things where it's like we do need care in this country to address everything, and it's one of those things where I believe like when we live in a thriving economy and we take care of our citizens, drug addictions and crime naturally go down. Um
Right.
yeah.
so it's one of those things where it's like I would rather be on the side of always wanting to be there to take care of somebody and help somebody through a bad situation than,
Yeah.
being apathetic and losing my humanity and saying, well, they should pass anyway because of an addiction. I think that's a silly, inhumane way of
Yeah.
thinking.
The argument of like drugs are bad, period, is kind of insane to me, especially in America when we've literally fought and killed in order to maintain alcohol rights. That
Right.
we're like,
Yeah, because like I want to bring this up because I think it's really important. We're all around the same age, and we tend to be, the most affected group when it comes to,
Hmm.
drugs and stuff like that. I feel like all of us can name a few people that we knew that passed away, from overdoses, unfortunately.
we want to know what's
If
crazy?
not us, a lot of people that we know in our friend groups, might know someone that is like OD'd at a
Wait,
party, like accidentally, or depression got, to them. I think it's
Hmm.
good that, some like people within our age group are talking about it because I feel like we forget to talk about it.
Yeah.
important conversation to say. I will say I luckily don't think I know someone who has gone through, but I know people who are addicted to multiple drugs and constantly using and using and having to deal with the moral implication of like, oh, I'm a terrible person. I'm making people like, but
Right.
they're also addicted to the same drugs that they're pushing. So it's hard to do that work of now like, how do I stop this lifestyle that I lived for years and just go somewhere else? A
Mhm.
very hard switch.
Hmm. Yeah, I will say pretty much 90% of the people in my life that I cared about that passed away were because of addictions and being addiction related, and it's incredibly sad. It was a big push for me to go into pharmaceuticals because at the time when I found that song Modern Medicine, I think I'd lost maybe like 5 people to addictions, not just like opioids, but definitely some. Yeah, it's a major crisis that people are not talking about enough.
Right.
Like I think there I was watching a congressional hearing, I believe, and it was a man talking about how 197 or sorry, yeah, 197 people die each day to opioids and drug crisis. And that's the same as a Boeing airplane. So if a Boeing airplane crashed every single day, that would be on the news. It would be insane. Like everyone would be talking about it. Like what the fuck's going on?
Right.
But because it's drug addicts, it's just seemed to slip under the rug. And it's really sad that we have to put like a moral value on these people's lives. You know what I mean? Like they still matter. It's still 197 people
Yeah,
each
They're
day.
still human beings. I
it's kind
think.
of intense, when um so like do you feel like because you're in this environment of media, like where you feel like there's this overconsumption of like your content and whatnot, and it's kind of like blurred on news, do you feel like there's a moral obligation because you pursued something like this to talk about it more?
I definitely would love to find ways to talk about it. Uh, and sadly, I used to do modeling and stuff in the past, and I used to have a social media presence in the past, and it always felt like it never actually went anywhere. It was really discouraging where if it was completely unnoticed and unheard to people being in my inboxes saying some really vile things about me and my position on and how I feel. So it's been one of those things where I've battled with it. And all I can really do is try to share resources whenever I can.
Mhm.
Um, Especially with anyone that I know that's going through addiction. I try to share personal anecdotes and all of that when I can. But
Right.
you know, sadly it's one of those things where it's like I think the bigger issue is a lot of people just cannot they cannot get off their moral high horse.
Mhm.
Really is what it is.
Oh, what a
They
Yeah.
perfect
cannot
way.
just find some basic empathy.
What a
Right.
perfect way to say
I
it.
feel
Thank
like we gave
God.
you a really good platform to talk about it now.
I
I
was
feel
about to say,
like that
like,
was like
if you want a platform, here it is. We're not afraid to talk about these conversations. We've taken harder stances in our most in the episode that we're gonna post very soon. We take a very difficult conversation and put it out loud. This
Mhm.
is the place
right.
to say any opinion you think would be very
Yeah.
problematic, but some information that
So I
you
do want to thank you, Padbae, for being able to express that because I feel like it wasn't a conversation I think I was even ready to have on the podcast. So
know we
it's really
Oh,
cool,
appreciated
that's
it.
and you
okay.
gave a very good perspective, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
So to kind of transition into like podcasts and media in general, what kind of made you transition from your degree to what you're doing now?
I mean, sorry, I'm hearing myself doubled a little bit. Um, okay, sorry. I was just making sure that doubling was gone. Oh, okay. So what made me transition from what I'm doing now to or sorry, from college to what I'm doing now. So obviously COVID was a big thing for everybody's
Oh,
lives.
that's fair enough.
Mhm.
um at the time, I just graduated with my bachelor's and I was in my master's program. And I was doing teaching and all of that. And when COVID hit, um, I was a teacher basically. It's more of like a lab assistant, but kind of I was the only authority in the room.
Oh,
I ran my own lab with 30 students. I helped to make sure they're safe and all of that. And this was my second time doing it when COVID struck, and
Mhm.
all of the students had to go home. But I still had to teach in my lab setting. So what I started doing was I already had a camera and all of that. So I started recording myself doing the experiments, taking a bunch of data sets, randomizing it, and sending it out to the students for them to analyze. But I was videotaping myself doing these experiments, doing the techniques, explaining the techniques, and making a whole video, class
For a
essay
COVID teacher?
essentially, and creating. Yeah, yeah,
So you're
Oh,
you're basically
for
getting into content
chemistry.
creation like through that aspect. That's cool.
that's
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
that
Hell yeah.
so that's when I started everything, was and started getting into like even like basics of video editing and all of that. And
Okay.
so yeah, it started with chemistry, and then I had some issues with finishing my masters. I have 2 exams left. It was kind of a little pitfall that I was going through, and then I ended up getting pregnant. And so then I started motherhood. And so I just haven't gone back to college just yet to finish those last 2 tests. Um, I'm
So wait,
waiting.
so wait, I've always known you, like in my mind, I've always thought of you to having your masters. In some part, like 2 tests to me is like, okay, you still have it. Like that's
Yeah. It's my exit exams.
yeah, it's your
That's
exit exams. That's not to me the information you garnered over the years is way more valuable than 2 exit exams. Proof of knowledge. So
mhm.
you, in all technicality, don't have masters?
Not fully, no. So I did a coursework. Did a coursework master. So all of the classes are done. All of that. It's just these exit exams that I was in the process of finishing, and then I got pregnant and I had to do house renovations and all of that, and it's just that left. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? And I won't go too much into this. This is my only child. I physically cannot have any more children. So I was like, let me enjoy my time at home with my son, because I'm never going to be able to experience this again.
Oh,
So then I was like, what am I going to do with some time? Because I was missing a lot of human connection with all of COVID and then stay at home motherhood. So I was like, I'm going to start streaming, and I'm going to find people that just want to hang out or into the same shit that I am. That it's something I can do from my house as soon as my baby's, in bed. And so I started streaming, and that led into everything else. Um,
right.
I Twitch was my biggest platform for a while in terms of like the most engagement and all of that. And then this year, TikTok and Instagram both like blew up insanely for no fucking reason.
Oh, come on. No, we know the reason.
It was me being poured beer into my mouth from a really really pretty lady while I'm being talked through it. That was the reason.
I still get the notifications when people like that post too. Because I'm on there and every time I look at my phone, you got an Instagram like. I'm like, oh sweet, look at it. I'm like, God damn, it's not me.
Geek, geek, if you ever wonder whether or not I I like you and I care about you, just know you blocked so much money for me on that post by you being tagged.
Really?
Yes, I can't get monetization if anyone's tagged.
That's so dumb. What? Shut up.
On my biggest post, nearly 5 million views.
Get that.
And
Wait, that's so dumb. Wait, I'm baffled by
no, you're
Shame
all
this.
on you, GC.
Whoa,
Shame
whoa,
on
whoa,
you.
whoa,
not
whoa,
shame.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
No
Don't.
shame,
It's
no
your
shame.
fault. Have you
No
ever?
shame.
Got your strays here
You
by
are
the wrong
so
person.
inconsiderate, brother. You are so inconsiderate.
I'm. This isn't your shade to throw, so you could back down.
No, but do I have permission, Padbae?
They know.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. How could you,
You didn't say
GC?
no fast enough.
I said it before him. I feel like I said it. I'm the
The
W.
gall.
What the
The
hell?
absolute gall. So that actually
I'm
brings up
telling you.
another question I have is like how do you market yourself? In this
Oh,
environment, like with the different like angles you are taking. You're talking about education. You were talking about like streaming in general. Of course, GC like outside of GC getting in the way of you getting monetized. Like, but how do you find a way to gain revenue from like your ventures?
oh, okay. Well, revenue is one of those things where they're kind of getting into like my process where I was like, fuck it, if I'm doing social media, I'm gonna treat it like a business. And I used to be an administrative assistant at a home health agency where I helped create kind of like these large plans to like get to an ultimate large goal. So I was like, fuck it, let's fucking pull that shit all the way to, you know, content creation. So I break things down into like quarterly goals and then monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, and so that ultimately will lead up to my large quarterly focus. So I try to have at least one part of my quarterly focus be like a new way of monetizing. Um, so I'll try to like do a new social media and I'll try to grow that social media or like breaking into Instagram subscribers, trying to find new ways to do more subscriptions on Twitch, or trying to find new ways to sell like photos of my cosplay stuff, or trying to do YouTube or anything like that. Like I just find all these different revenue sources and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put one quarter, I'm gonna like focus on that, make like a a whole like not a lesson plan. What am I thinking about? I'm blanking on the fucking word. Oh my god. Action plan. A whole action plan on how to get to that end goal. And so that's kind of like my process where I see a small opportunity. How can I maximize that and optimize that to get the most revenue with the least amount of effort and time? Um, and there we go. So, and one of those things I will say was for Twitch, like truth or drink was a big one. I have to end that though. Um, sadly. I thought I would go around, but it basically was like 5 gifted subs. You can ask me like any question I have to
It,
answer
it was
honestly.
popular. It worked.
Yeah, it worked. I have to answer honestly, or I can dodge the question with a drink. But
Yeah, I
usually I
feel like
answer
that
the
just
question.
gets like it gets really gross really fast with like how men can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's my demographic on everything
For
basically.
those who aren't watching the stream or watching this episode and just like listening to it because it is a podcast, I am silently but vigorously shaking my head, or sorry, nodding my head, like go just going, yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, that's
That's pretty
it's
much it.
as a mod for her
It's
channel,
funny
it's a
because I
lot.
feel like it's the opposite for us. While you have a lot of men watching your stuff, we GC and I we just get all the hot babes watching us. You know what I'm saying?
Who are you
Hell
lying
yeah.
to?
I always
You know,
wanted the
like
hot babes,
all
but
8 of our subscribers. I'm not saying that. Like, yes, four of them are us. We're hot babes. Okay, you know.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, we the hot babes.
I will say all of my efforts to try to have more of a female audience never really landed. The only place that like I'm successful at having a female audience is TikTok where I do my educational content.
Right. Okay.
Huh.
But I'm like, God
Interesting.
damn it. I'm seeing more now. Like I'm slowly now that I've reached past the 15,000 mark on Instagram, I'm starting to see more women. And I'm like, fucking finally, please. Because I try to do
Right.
anonymous Q&As and it's horrid. It is vile.
It's
It
It's
is
like, can I sniff
terrible.
your armpits or something like that?
ah
I had I had to officially close my DMs after one really terrible incident because I used to answer almost all my DMs. I would read all of them, and if anyone seemed like they were asking a genuine question, I would answer back. Like I really did not care. I would just talk. I
wait,
don't.
wait. Before they the is it the one you talked about on
Yes.
the one where it's like me and I think it was our mutual friend Horetic on call and you just like went off and we were like kind of cracking it with you, right?
I don't recall.
Oh, I know you said it on stream right after our conversation.
It might have been. That whole time was a blur. I was going through a fucking
It was
episode
a
there.
lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But the last DM that I got before closing my DMs forever on Instagram was, "Can you fart up my nose, queen?"
Does it sound like a
So that
yes
just
or a no? I'm
What, why? Answers
I
now,
don't know.
dude. What the hell?
It's wild. It's wild.
yeah.
So
I just like, and that also brings me to another question. Like, what do you do in the instance when you are dealing with all these creepy guys? Like,
I usually just ignore it, but sometimes it gets really, really overwhelming. So like with the anonymous questions, normally I would expect a few. Like that's fine, whatever. Just ignore them and move on. But like the last anonymous questions that I did, it was like 50 back to back of like really awful shit. So I'm just like, You know, I'm not doing this anymore. You guys are fucking
Right.
cut off.
That's very fair. People are crazy online, especially when anonymous. Status. Oh my good
Yeah.
lord.
I think
Yeah, it's
people get
bad.
too bold, but when they're behind a screen.
It's the
Yeah.
glory
Yeah.
of like being. I will say there's like some protection of us being able to hide who we are and being anonymous. Places like Twitter or whatever, we're able to give out our opinions on like, politics or the non or whatever synonymous situation you want, where it's like we can debate and argue safely. It's we get that situation so infrequently. Usually not
Right.
Mhm.
debate, just shouting match.
I think like I feel like it's just like it's expanded itself. I remember when I was younger, when Osama bin Laden died, someone asked me like, "Hey, I I'm really sorry for your loss. I heard your like grandfather died yesterday." I'm like, you know what I mean? And but like nowadays, I feel like that's just a light joke in comparison
That's
to what
Yeah.
I've been sent,
terrible.
personally,
Oh,
right?
that's
And from
very
people I
funny.
don't know.
It's very funny that you dealt with that because that was also me all of high school. My nickname in high school was literally terrorist. It's bad.
Yeah, I think
That's
I
terrible.
don't know if you have any like things you want to talk about in regards to just like the
Bullying.
boldness of the internet and like how like you feel, because I feel like that's something you like have an opinion on, like how people are like reactive on the internet and like the parasocial relationships that like could happen because of that.
Definitely, like, parasocial relationships are one of those things that's just like that's the really dangerous part. To me, receiving, like, really nasty messages where people just really don't think that I'm gonna see it because of the size that I am, um, like, yeah, it's gross, but, like, whatever, usually it doesn't bother me. It's just like, they just they're chronically lonely, like, I feel sorry for them. But, the parasocial relationships definitely can be one of those, like, scarier bits because like being and this is like the part that sorry, I'm hearing myself double again. This is the part that gets me a little bit weirded out on the internet is like you never know who's looking at you constantly and building that relationship in their mind with you. And that's the creepiest part of just like I don't know how many of these people just look at me because it's like, "Oh, pretty," or whatever. And versus like, "Oh, one day I'm going to want to date this person," and all that. Like and I've had DMs of, people like constantly trying to ask me out on dates and like they start messaging me, in my emails and sending me things and being like, "I think we would really get along really well." Like, "Oh, like, I matched your perfect guy type." I answered one of those questions, like the Q&As, and it's like, "Oh, I matched this part, this part, this part, da 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 da." And they're like really taking it very seriously. And I'm just like, that to me is like, hey, buddy, Tinder's a thing.
Not the
Try
hey buddy.
Bumble. Like,
Right
don't
grind.
you don't even know my name, dude. That's to me where it's just like I think people have got to remember that for content creators, you're seeing like 2%. I am nothing like how I am on the internet in real life. Not a single fucking bit.
This is true. I can't confirm.
So it's like, oh, buddy, you're in love with some pixels.
Hey,
Get over
hey,
it.
hey, hey, don't hate on my pixel love, okay? Hinata was was the girl for me for years, okay? Don't hate on my pixel love, all right? 2D women get
NFT Gooner.
Steve Gooner material.
I said no, I said NFT Gooner.
Oh,
Because if we're looking at just pixels, it's like I'm just in love with this picture. It's like how like people are selling like $500,000 for like a freaking JPEG.
Oh yeah. Oh my
This
god.
is what I am in love with. This screenshot from Padbae's stream from 3 years ago. That is
oh,
my ideal woman.
dude.
Ugh,
right?
that's a
I want to
choice.
talk about something
Speaking of
really like.
ideal woman, let's talk about cosplay for
Wait,
a
wait,
little
wait,
bit because I know
hold
that's
on.
like a big
Wait,
thing for you.
Crimson. Wait. Padbae,
Oh no, I actually I'll tell you that off stream. I think
Okay.
that idea is so gross, but there's probably the possibility someone would hear it and be like, "Yeah, I'm stealing that idea," and I don't want that to go out on the internet. So I'll tell you
My
after.
cup is empty. I'm so ready for the tea. Ella. Okay, then.
But I do
Okay,
want
go
to
ahead.
I do want to talk about cosplay because that seems to be a big thing. I think you touched on it a little bit earlier on. So like, what got you into that? And like, what have been like some of your favorite cosplays that you've done?
Okay. So like cosplays is one of those things where the barrier to entry is pretty high monetarily and skill-wise. Um so it's something that I was always wanting to get into, but it was hard to get started. So I would do a lot of closet cosplays or quiet cosplays where I would do outfits inspired by certain characters or makeup looks inspired by certain characters. So I would start that. And then I was like, you know what? Another thing that I can do basically for free is like my body fitness. And then I started being like, okay, well, are the body standards like or the body images of women in Marvel Rivals really that unattainable? Could I create a routine and try to work on that? And I was working on that for a long time and I was like, well, I might as well do the cosplay. You know what I mean? So then I started doing the
Right.
cosplay, and then that got me into EVA foam. Then I made Magic's armor, and I wore because I really wanted to look like Magic. So Magic was like a big inspo fitness wise, because oh my god, her body's fucking T. Which by the way, it is attainable. It just takes a lot of fucking work, and I'm sad and
Right.
tired all the time, and you have to eat so much protein.
Yeah, that,
But
I want to look like Pickle from Baki. If you know what Pickle looks like from Baki.
I don't think I do.
what the fuck?
He,
Why?
yeah. Why not?
Why?
No, because I've seen some of your cosplays. They look great. The
Thank
one
you.
you did at TwitchCon as Gothic Azula was really cool. What, what's so funny?
I thought I thought we had an agreement here before the podcast. I only agreed to come on if we were only bagging on Geek.
Nope.
Wait,
No
what?
way.
No, no.
No way. No way. Just me. No way. I'm the one. I'm the only one getting heat here. Everyone's getting this heat.
I'm just confused. You weren't Azula?
No,
Totally
no.
was. No, come on. No, totally was. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'm just seeing what GC told me. GC was like, yeah, just Gothic Azula.
Okay, yeah,
That was
no,
the
it's
vibe that
definitely
Padbae was
GC's
going
fault
for.
for sure. It's definitely GC's fault.
Whoa.
No,
Hey.
That bald
I was
headed bitch.
exactly. I was Shadowheart from BG3.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, but I did my own little outfit. It was if Shadowheart was a
Right.
respect to a rogue.
it was a good
So
I feel
outfit.
like
Like,
you'd like kill it
thanks,
with
man.
like Yu-Gi-Oh cosplays. I feel like there are a lot of like Yu-Gi-Oh cards that match your vibe. Like there's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, K9 Azuna, and I feel like you would just nail it. And there's like a K9 Jokul. I know it sounds like gibberish. I'll send you pictures, but I feel like those
I was
two are
about to
costumes that you could like attainably
let
do,
me
and
see
I
the
think you
photos.
do great in them.
he said Kanan
Let me
Azuna, and I'm like, Kanan Azula? Okay.
No, K9
Yeah, I
Azuna.
heard
So
K9
Like
Azula, and I'm
K and the
like, I
number
have
nine
some
and
fans,
Azuna.
I guess.
I have some fingers.
And then there's like K9 Jokul, which is like, yeah, that looks like you. I could see you doing K9 Jokul. And Jokul spelled Jokul.
I would have to look it up. I
Yeah,
only watched
those are like,
Yu-Gi-Oh when it
but I
was
was like,
just
yeah,
ever
you.
on
I think
TV.
you'd do really because like I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and at a lot of the YCSs, the big competitions I've attended, there have been more cosplayers, and they're doing really cool stuff with the card arts because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh card arts are great, and I wish more people cosplayed as them. And hearing you doing cosplay and you being open to the nerd stuff, like I think that's a cool niche that you can tap into.
Maybe, but can I say something really disgusting about myself
Sure.
when it comes to card games? I'm a Hearthstoner. I love Hearthstone more than anything. That's actually when I first started YouTube, I started doing my Hearthstone plays. I know it's so gross. Not Pokemon, not Yu-Gi-Oh, not Magic the Gathering. No,
I
it's
If you didn't
Hearthstone.
play like, look, I will. If you didn't play Magic the Gathering, that's fine. I think that's actually you get a gold medal for not playing Magic the Gathering. Pokemon,
Some really good
but
things about Magic.
like,
Hearthstone. Go ahead. You go face.
Well, one, it's Blizzard.
that's like saying, oh man, I love vanilla ice cream, and then just like eating chocolate ice cream because you love vanilla ice cream.
Sometimes I want to
I
keep my
think
special
I think
distance.
Hearthstone. I I feel like we're running out of time, and I can go on a whole rant about why I just don't like mobile trading card games.
We could do
But
another episode of TCG versus video game where you can bring that up.
yeah,
We could do another episode.
which I should. I think we should have tapped into like my opinion on video game card games. But yeah,
Let me redeem myself a little bit, okay? I stopped playing Hearthstone when they started doing like you couldn't do certain seasons or previous cards, and they started only doing the last 3 seasons. I was like,
yeah, the
"Fuck you money
rotation.
grabbing ass beach is a bitch. Fuck you."
Well, like
I was
rotations are
so
like a
pissed.
very common thing in a lot of card games. I'm not surprised that Hearthstone took that route, but
I was so
yeah.
mad. I was so mad. I was like, I spent so much time and money grinding for these cards already, and you're saying I can't even use them? I can only use them in like the wild cards? Fuck you. Fuck you.
And that is why I only collect Pokemon and don't play it.
That's why I play video
Yeah,
games because
it's
TCG sounds fucking crazy.
GC, we still have that planned milestone. If we get to a certain amount of likes, I would make you play Yu-Gi-Oh, and then you'd make me play League. So
As long as you're in hell with me.
yeah, I'll run with you to hell and back, but please let's not stay in hell for so long.
And coffee, they'll be hot. Fuck. Oldest joke in the book. Okay, we
All
are
right.
running out of time here. Padbae, is there anything you want to get off your chest? Any rants or tangents you want to just go off the rip on? Or anything you would like to ask us? We've been asking you questions this entire time. Is there anything you want to script with us?
yeah, Geek, I want to ask,
Yeah. Yeah.
do you feel like I could give good dating advice service after watching me rizz up all of those people and you
Well,
kept
fucking
failing?
regret this question. I
You
knew
can
I'd
be my first
fucking
customer,
regret this question.
my first
God
client.
damn it. I
Padme,
knew
I
it.
think you're working with a lost cause at this point. You know what I mean?
Hey! Whoa, 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 whoa! I am a high, not yield. What's the stupid shit these manosphere dummies
High
Value.
call?
value male. You're
I'm
a
a
high
high
value male.
value man. I asking that question so much right
But
now.
low key, honestly, dating advice doesn't sound too bad. I need that.
I'm really good. I'm really good at pickup lines.
He
All right,
is. Can't confirm.
maybe I should send you like all my dating profiles, and you can fix them up for me. I
Oh,
gotta take new photos though.
I would love to do like dating profile reviews. I would love to do that. I feel
Oh,
like that'd be really fun.
that'll be such a funny, such a fun series on social media.
Considering like I
Yeah,
every time I try to use dating apps, like any swiping again, I can't. I can't. I'm just like, nope, nope, nope. Nobody's
yeah.
interesting. Nope,
Unfortunately,
nope.
it's like a necessary evil for me. I work in a field where I don't see women like that. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah.
kind of have to go. It's weird when you see coworkers, but like,
Well,
You swipe right out of respect. You swipe right, like, hey, I see you.
no,
Doing
like if
good.
I see no, I swipe left on coworkers. If I see friends, I will super like or like give them a rose or like swipe right. 'Cause that's what you
but
gotta
yeah,
do.
no.
Sometimes I'll
I'll
be
like
like, "Hey, yo,
swipe
gang,
left.
what's up?"
I'll swipe left for literally no reason at all. I'd be like, oh, they're a surfer, red flag. Bye.
They're holding a pick,
They're a surfer? Oh no,
one of
I'm
their
good.
earlobes is bigger than the other.
It's just like very few people ever capture my eye. Like, and I'm like, I think I'm more of a personality type where I just like, I'd much rather like talk to somebody and like go from there rather than like, because I feel like a lot of these dating services, it's always based off of appearances first, and I'm just like,
Right.
dude, I just want to
There
I want to know
was
people.
Well, a lot of dating services calibrate, the reach you have on their scale of attractiveness. So the fact that I've been seeing a lot of cute girls means I might be doing something right, but who knows? Who knows?
thing.
Y'all
There
will never
is
see my face though, so can't tell you.
he's ugly as shit. Don't believe him anyway.
All
There
right,
is
Baldy. All right, Baldy.
hey,
With that
hey.
being said, hopefully you
He's
guys
definitely
liked
short
watching this
too.
video. Padbae, thank you again for coming on to the
Of
podcast.
course.
Uh, any last words, GC?
Someone help me. I'm getting bullied in my own goddamn show.
All right, we'll see you guys again later.
Deuces.
Bye.